New Orleans undermanned, only 5 wins on the year coming in, and the Knicks had to have a tremendous effort from Jalen Brunson, who had 29 of his 39 in the second half. Mikal Bridges, another excellent game with 18. And the Knicks end up prevailing in New Orleans over the Pelicans, 104-93. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pito along with Wally Zerbiak. So, Wally, the Knicks, with 8 minutes left in the third quarter, were down by 14. Mm-hmm. From that point to the end of the game, the Knicks outscored the Pelicans by 25. A major turnaround. How'd they do it?
Well, I saw a couple plays where Jalen Brunson was just trying to get himself going, saying to himself, I'm not going to let our team lose this game. Obviously, an undermanned Pelicans team. They came out, shot the ball very well in the first half. Knicks couldn't find any rhythm. Karl Anthony Towns was just a little bit off tonight. It happens. These players are human beings. But Jalen Brunson, he said, I'm just going to put the team on my back. I'm going to make every shot I look at. 13 for 19, 39 points. He knows this team, the Pelicans, is shook. So if he could put the pressure on them, get the lead back, that they would fold, and they did. They let go of the rope. They don't have their guys to keep in a game like that. And the Knicks came away with, no matter how it looks in the end, it's a good win in the score column.
You mentioned Karl Anthony Towns did have a double-double. Now has 24 double-doubles in 26 games as a Knick, but 11 points for him. That's it. That's a Knicks low for him.
Yep.
Jalen Brunson doing what he's done all year, reading the game. Tonight they needed him to score. And in the comeback in the third quarter, Wally, he scored 16 of his season-high 39 points.
Yeah, he just went into Jalen mode that he was playing in all last year. He wasn't looking for anyone else. He was just taking the first available shot. He was pulling up from 25, 30 feet. Anytime he put his head down and got to the basket, he finished with ease. And it was an incredible performance. It really was. The Knicks were looking for someone to just step up. And this is why you accumulate a roster with MVP candidates and all-stars on it and high-level NBA players, because no matter how good of a system you run, if you're the Pelicans, if you don't have the closer and you don't have the guy to just finish the game and get a bucket when you need it, then you're not going to win in this league. That's just how this league works. This league is dominated by the superstars, and the Knicks have 2 superstars and a couple other guys that are borderline all-stars, and that's why the Knicks pull out games like this when they probably played at a B- level. If, as far as what they're capable of, they still came away with a win on the road. That's impressive.
Again, down 14 with 8 minutes to go in the third. They were able to come back. They were up by 3, Wally, after the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter, they were able to keep up that play that they started in the third quarter. They were pretty much cruise to the win here in the final 12 minutes.
And Jalen didn't come out of the game. You notice that? Like, he was like, I can't let this momentum go. Because when the Knicks took over that game to close the third quarter, you have to continue to keep your foot on the Pelicans' throat and not let them breathe, not let them get any life. Mikal Bridges, he struggled a little bit in the first half, but he made key shots again. I mean, he was second leading scorer for the Knicks at 18 points. He's out there for pretty much the whole entire game, defending on the perimeter, running through screens. And it was just an impressive performance by Jalen Brunson. And I thought Jericho Sims, just his activity, his motor, his extra possessions that he got the team in the first and second half were really key possessions to help this Knicks team pull off this win.
Wally Sims didn't score, but did grab 8 rebounds. You take a look at our game summary. Knicks now 13-4 in their last 17 games. They're 18-10 on the season, and they've won 5 straight games on the road. Time now to bring in Monica McNutt. She helped call the game tonight on ESPN New York, the radio broadcast. Monica, great to see you. What do you think about the turnaround there in the third quarter?
Well, you got to give Jalen Brunson a ton of credit, right? He certainly led the way in terms of the Knicks needing to find some energy. I want to be mindful to give the Pelicans credit, because I think in that second quarter, you saw a unit of guys that are fighting for their spots on the roster, that are young in their careers and trying to establish themselves. So I give them credit for the way that they were able to play defense and challenge the Knicks. But ultimately, the Knicks had to hit some shots, and that's what Jalen Brunson was able to do in that third quarter in terms of leading the charge.
Monica, how about Jalen Brunson just going into beast mode, taking over that game and not letting the Knicks win? What did you see out of him in that third period?
We had a note in the second half. He scored 29 and the rest of the team scored 27. And so I think you saw a mentality. Now, what I will say is, and we've seen this. We saw this at points last year, you guys, but usually it happens in that first quarter when he gets his first break and then comes back into the game. I thought Herb Jones did a great job on him in the first class. By our stats on the radio booth, he held him to 0 points when he was the primary defender. He did score 10, I believe, in the first half on other guys, right? But in the second half, Jalen, with his high basketball IQ and his patience within the game, had figured out even how to get the better of Herb Jones and send him to the bench with those 5 fouls. And so I think you saw why he has been an all-star, why he is the captain, why he has the contract that he has, and is the corner piece to what this Knicks team is building.
You know, Monica, the thing that we're talking about here is, and so far through 28 games, last year the Knicks needed Brunson to score a lot more than he has had to score this year. And tonight, and some other nights when they've needed him to score, he has absolutely done that. When they needed him to distribute, he's done that. He's doing everything he needs to do in terms of reading the game.
But we hear that, Pito, from multiple guys on this roster, right? Like, their creed, their ethos, if you will, is what does this team need? And Jalen Brunson is no different. We were sort of joking at halftime. Some of the beat guys were sitting up next to Tyler and I, and it was like, oh, this looks like a vintage performance, meaning a performance prior to Karl Anthony Towns' arrival, because you're right. We've not had to have this sort of outburst in terms of scoring consistently this year from Jalen Brunson compared to the way that it was needed offensively last year. But I think it's a reason why it's a team sport, right? Like, any guy can get hot. Mikal Bridges with 2 really good games over the course of this stretch with the 29, or excuse me, with the 29 the other day, shooting the 3-ball really well. And then tonight, Jalen Brunson leads the way. I do think, too, and we were talking about this, just a little bit maybe of an emotional hangover for Cat. And I think that's completely fair considering all that he had to deal with in Minnesota.
Monica, I can't believe I missed Giacomo's. How was it, and did you have the corn mock chew?
I did not have the corn mock chew. I had blackened grouper, which was phenomenal. The cornbread is delicious. We have bread pudding at dessert. You know, Wally, Giacomo's is a great place. We had a great dinner. I have one little wrinkle, though, if I'm honest. My sides this year. I was just a little disappointed with my sides, but other than that, the fellowship was terrific and the food was great.
I cannot believe she just said that about Giacomo.
I know. I knew you guys were going to react this way.
Tough critic.
But I think,
Monica, I don't know if you're going to be allowed on the road with the crew again after
Listen,
saying that.
I think we have to have time to be here for more than one place. We could do a Giacomo's, and we do a little bit more digging and see what else.
Oh, you're supposed to then
we can enjoy in New York. I mean, New Orleans.
Hopping around to all the other restaurants and listen to music, all the different spots.
Seriously, everything was delicious. Sweet potatoes and cabbage, I've just had better sweet potatoes and cabbage, y'all.
I could have had the corn mock chew. It's the best side.
I don't know if that was an option last night. Did we have that? I didn't have. The guys had an alligator cheesecake situation appetizer. I don't eat that, so I didn't eat that. But it was good, great company for sure.
Awesome. All right, Monica, great to see you. Have a great trip home. Next time in New Orleans, you will not be going out with the crew. Just heard that.
Wouldn't that be nice, Pito? I'd be like you, excluded, huh?
Well, if you'd invite me somewhere, I wouldn't have that problem, would I?
Hey.
Oh, this guy's pining for the invite.
All right.